What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So apparently, the IWC is going crazy once again. Ain't that weird? They never go crazy online, right? They never engage in this type of behavior. But here's the thing. We got some fans saying that WrestleMania 41 is going to be trash. It's going to be garbage juice. Okay, that's how they feel about it right now. Now, before I tell you guys how I feel about that and tell you guys how I feel about the road to WrestleMania, do me a favor first. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, get me in the algorithms, and share me with your friends. Okay, pause. But anyway, let's get into the conversation. So, for the fans who think that WrestleMania 41 is going to be trash at this point in time, my only message to those individuals is this. No one will know until Sunday, April 20th, 2025 at about maybe 11 p.m. Okay? And for the individuals who are arguing with those people, trying to convince them that they're wrong, we won't know until April 20th, 2025 at 11 p.m. See, here's my thing, guys. Before I talk about how I feel about the road to WrestleMania, why do we engage with these individuals? That's why I stay off Twitter, because it's just too much going on in there. But what is the point of even correcting those individuals, right? Because we know on Twitter specifically, there are people literally there ready to troll on a daily basis or say the most outrageous thing, or maybe people are just saying how they actually feel. Regardless of the case, what's the point of engaging in all of that? Why are we acting surprised that people are doing this online? This is not anything new. This has been a thing since the inception of Twitter. This has always been the case. So why are we getting upset about that? It makes no sense. You're not going to be able to convince them otherwise, or maybe they just like the attention that they're getting. But on top of that, if it's really how they feel, so what? Like, you got to move out of your way to go towards whatever they're saying and engage with them in the conversation. And we don't really have to. Why do we let these people let us get upset? It just doesn't make it. I don't know, bro. This I don't know. That's just my thing about that whole thing. Anyway, if that's how they feel, that's how they feel. Everyone will know on April 20th at the end of the day, bro. Like, just people just on Twitter just want to be mad about, like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But as far as the road to WrestleMania this year, for the people who feels like this year isn't as exciting as previous years, I can understand where they're coming from, because I don't have too much of an opinion about this road like that, because we still got time left. We still got the Elimination Chamber in about a couple weeks, so that can change some things. But I can understand why some people do feel like this year feels a little underwhelming compared to at least last year, because last year it felt like WrestleMania was treated like a big deal. We got a kickoff show in February, 2 months before WrestleMania, way before Elimination Chamber, right? And the way they were promoting it, and they kept saying it over and over, the biggest WrestleMania over. They were they were advertising it. They even advertised 39 that way. They have not said that at all about this year. At all. At all. And the only match we got so far is Gunther versus Jey Uso. I'm happy to see Jey Uso, possibly get a title. But if you don't care about Jey Uso's story, or care about him having another match against Gunther, then right now WrestleMania doesn't seem enticing to you. We gotta accept the fact that people aren't going to be as excited as we are about the same exact thing. That's not how life works. That's just not how it works. Last year at the kickoff show, we thought at that point that we were possibly getting The Rock versus Roman Reigns. And the reason why that was huge, because a lot of people who stopped watching wrestling came back to watch wrestling because The Rock was back. So you saw the excitement from the people coming back to watch wrestling because of The Rock, in combination with the excitement of the fans who've been watching wrestling for the storyline of the bloodline, including The Rock. So you had a ton of people excited about this one show, and you could just feel it. You can feel the excitement. You can feel that WWE wanted this to be the biggest show ever. And then on top of that, you had Cody Rhodes coming out during the kickoff show. So you're like, okay, how are they going to figure this whole situation out? What is Seth Rollins going to do to get involved in this? Or is they going to change this match? If you're a fan of Cody Rhodes, you were like, I'm hoping this changes in his favor. If you hated Cody Rhodes, you were loving this. Like, everybody felt an extreme emotion about the scenario going into WrestleMania, mainly the Bloodline storyline, which is considered one of the, if not the biggest storylines in WWE history, involved in that show with The Rock and Roman Reigns in some capacity, right? This year, we don't have that. And that's perfectly fine. We can't have The Rock and the Bloodline be the main, heart of WrestleMania every single year. But I do understand why it feels like underwhelming this year as opposed to last year, because we don't have that element of this storyline, this big story going into it. Will Cody Rhodes finish his story? Will Roman and The Rock happen? Would that be a big match? You know, how will Seth Rollins get involved? And then we also still had Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank briefcase. This year we have no one with the briefcase. So will Damian Priest cash in? How would he cash in? You know, like we had a lot of things happening going into WrestleMania. And on top of that, we had other historic moments. For one, we saw the Usos fight one-on-one for the first time ever. Now, how you feel about that match is a whole different story. I told you guys how I feel, and I'm pretty sure it's the same way you guys feel. But before the match happened, this was going to be the first time that's ever happened. We had a ladder match to split up the tag team titles, something that people, even myself, have been begging for the entire time that they were unified in a ladder match for the tag teams, you know, first time since probably WrestleMania 17. That was exciting. Will Bayley beat Io on the biggest stage of them all to win a championship as a singles competitor? That was another situation because they were in the same faction together. So there's a little bit of story in that as well. But this year, it feels like that they're trying to figure out what to do next. Like something happened to where they're trying to kind of scrounge together a plan B. That's just what it seems like. I don't know. I don't work for creative, but that's just what it feels like right now. And maybe it has something to do with The Rock no longer being able to go and things like that. But it just feels like they're just trying to scramble and figure things out. And I won't say that we don't have anything exciting happening. I mean, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte. That's going to be a really good match, right? If it's Rhea versus Io, which I don't think it will be since it doesn't seem like they're booking that, even if it's Rhea versus Bianca, should be a really good match, right? If you don't like Jay and versus Gunther, whoever Cody faced, they got a lot of possibilities of having a great match. And we also got John Cena's final WrestleMania. So we got plenty of time from now to Elimination Chamber because he's going to be there for them to build up some type of storylines to get the fans invested in what he's going to do. Whether you're a fan of John Cena or not, if they make this story interesting, people will want to watch it. There are wrestlers people never cared about, and because of a story, they started getting invested into them. You know, i.e. Sami Zayn with the Bloodline storyline. Most of us liked them. I loved them since, you know, the independent scene when he was El Generico, but for other people, they didn't care about Sami Zayn until he became a part of this Bloodline storyline, and he was like kind of like the heart and the comedic piece of that storyline. So stories can do wonders for wrestlers, whether you care about them or you don't. But I have faith that they can figure something out, and I hope they will, because I think whatever they do with John Cena at WrestleMania is going to be a big part of how people receive WrestleMania this year. What they do with him, what they do with Cody Rhodes, and specifically what they'll probably do with Roman Reigns at the end of the day, right? So there's a lot of holes here, but they can fill those up. They can figure them out. I got faith in them, but I don't blame people who feel like that this time around. As far as it being February compared to even last year, like I said, the kickoff show I think was in February 8th. This year we haven't gotten a kickoff show or anything yet. I can understand why people may feel like it's underwhelming this year, but just give it a little bit of time, okay? They'll probably figure something out, and if it does come out and be an amazing WrestleMania with all these concerns that everyone has, you got to give the people their credit. So let's just wait it out. Let's see what happens. You guys don't have to convince anybody of anything. Let people just think and feel what they want to feel. And if, you know, and I'm not trying to tell you guys what to do. You could do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's just wasted energy. You're not going to convince anybody of anything. Some people have to actually see it in front of their face to believe it. And some people can say, you know what? It's too early for me to judge it now. I'll wait it out until we get closer. Everybody's different, bro. Everybody's different. At the end of the day, bro, we all wrestling family, bro. We all love the same thing. We ain't got to go at each other. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Salute. Peace. Have a